Welcome to Takeover. For the next 15 minutes, me and my cast will take over your 15 minutes with the best sports debate on YouTube. My name is Cam.
My name is Josh.
My name is Deandra. So, with the NBA season approaching us, I want to know, who do you guys think is under the biggest microscope this season?
For me, it's the one they call the stat patter, the guy who shoots the worst in the league from the point guard position, the guy that says only efficient at rebounding, the guy who's led the league in assists for the past 3 years. It's Russell Westbrook to me because, I feel like if this is a pitch count, he's on strike two. He's had Kevin Durant. That didn't pan out too well. You blow a 3-1 lead. You've had Paul George. He leaves you for Kawhi Leonard. What else do you want? What else can you do? You have to win in this situation. You have to win right now with James Harden, with the Houston Rockets, or it's not going to pan out for you. Are you going to be known as the guy who only puts up stats, or are you going to be known as a winner, a champion, because you have everything else? You have the MVPs. You know you can do it by yourself, but can you do it in a winning way? Can you be that top point guard, that top dog everyone knows you can be? And to me, if Russell doesn't do that this year, where's he going to go? Where's he going next? He's getting older. He's declining athletically. Where is Russ going to go if it doesn't work out here?
I see what you're saying there, but I don't think it's Russ Westbrook. It's the other guy that you mentioned in Houston. It's the beard, James Harden. Westbrook's kind of cemented his legacy, I think. A title would be great, but he's got the MVP, he's got the triple doubles, he's created his own legacy. James Harden's still looking for that legacy. James Harden is going to go down as one of the greatest pure scorers this game has ever seen, right? You can't argue that. Who else averages 41 points over a month? Nobody. But I think James Harden needs to transcend what a typical solo scorer is, because look at some of the great, one-man teams, right? You had Alex English in Denver. He was a fantastic scorer, but no one talks about him. Adrian Dantley, he was a fantastic scorer, but no one talks about him. James Harden doesn't want to become that, because in 20, 25 years, if he doesn't have a title, if the greatest thing that ever happened to him was the 7-game series against the Warriors, then he'll just be lost in the mist of time, and you'll see him show up on analytics.
Who was the best player on the Rockets last year?
Last year?
Yeah.
James Harden.
Who was the best player on the Rockets last year? The year before last year.
James Harden.
Right. So when Kevin Durant left, who was the best player on the team?
Which team?
The Thunder.
The Thunder?
Yeah.
Westbrook.
Exactly, right. How many times has Westbrook been out of the first round ever since Kevin Durant left?
I don't think he has yet. Has he? I don't remember.
Yeah, but the Beard has beaten Westbrook before.
Well, yeah, but that's because
he was undermanned. He was undermanned.
He's always had a teammate. Because he was in OKC.
Russ has it?
He had Durant and he had Westbrook, right?
Correct.
And
he was a sixth man. He was undeveloped.
So then when he came to Houston, he had Dwight Howard at first. And then when he left, he had Chris Paul and Clint Capella.
Okay, but Russell Westbrook had Paul George and lost to the Utah Jazz in the first round,
but Paul George was hurt. That one was.
He was hurt
and also,
the whole entire time. What about the efficiency? What I'm saying about Russell Westbrook overall is, if you can't get out of the first round, that's a problem. If you're a top 10 player, James Harden is getting out of the first round with ease. He's embarrassing people. He's putting up 50. Russ is shooting under 30% in some of these games. You can't have that and be a top level guy.
Harden needs to prove to everyone that while he can be a top level guy, but he also has to win a title at this point, because he has a chance to be considered one of the greatest of all time. He's that good on offense, but he needs to. I think a title validates everything, because nobody really talks about Charles Barkley in the GOAT discussion, but Charles Barkley was awesome. Yeah. Charles Barkley was one of the greatest to ever play the game, but no one talks about him because he didn't win a ring. So if Harden wants to enter this discussion, he has to win a ring, and he has to prove that he can get farther than the second or third round, and he can do all this scoring greatness that he does in the regular season. He can do it in the playoffs, because, do we have to bring up all the clunkers that he's had in the playoffs where he's shot like 10%? We don't. We don't need to see that anymore. He has to prove that
Westbrook needs to show up more. What do you think, Deandra?
I think it is the king, LeBron James, this season.
Okay.
Because for the simple fact that he's aging, number one. Number two, with Kawhi being known as the best player in the league as of right now, it used to be LeBron. You can't tell me that doesn't bring some pressure onto LeBron James. Also, what do you guys think holds the greatest pressure as far as in general?
What do you mean?
in my opinion, being the greatest of all time, that holds so much pressure. Westbrook or Harden, they are both elite players, but I don't think they're ever going to be in the discussion for the greatest of all time. LeBron is. That alone has the most pressure. Not only did they dissect the Lakers team just to get the one player that he wanted to play with, which was AD. They got rid of Josh Hart, Lonzo Ball, Ingram, and future picks.
Three picks.
And an organization or a team does not do that to not win championships. The goal is to win the championship. So if they don't reach that goal, who's everyone going to look at? Yeah, the people that know sports and the people that actually analyze sports, they're going to know it's not just on LeBron. But mostly in the media, everyone's going to look at LeBron. And he is going to be compared to the greats that came in LA and had a great impact, like Shaq, Kobe, Kareem, and Magic. And I just think it's LeBron. He has the most to prove.
Yeah.
This season.
I see that, but I feel like he's commended his legacy. But sticking with the theme of basketball, what are your guys' view on Team USA's lackluster effort in the finish?
It pains me. It really does. It hurts. It hurts to watch it. It hurt to see that, because 7th place, and this is the United States of America. I mean, we created this game and we finished 7th place in the FIBA World Championship. It's pathetic, honestly. I mean, do you guys remember when they let professionals enter this kind of stuff in 1992? I mean, this can't happen. You can't be this star-studded, full of professional athletes, and you can't take 7th place. Okay, don't get me wrong. They were missing a lot of the superstars. A lot of the great players of the NBA didn't play, which I understand, because they have to take their summer away from themselves and then, dedicate it to playing basketball more. And, I mean, it takes away some rest and recuperation time. But, I mean, you saw all the foreign players. They're playing for their home countries. Jokic was playing for Serbia. Giannis was playing for Greece. I mean, and the Gasol brothers still play for Spain, as does Ricky Rubio. I mean, I don't know what it is, but the stars have started to shy away from taking this responsibility. Back in the day, people were honored to play for Team USA, and now they're not. And I think that's part of the problem, is the fact that nobody buys in anymore. No one looks at it and says, I want to make this work. They look at it and they say, I mean, that's just extra work. I don't really, I want to focus on my game. And that's the problem is you take these 12, 15 players that are just kind of there, and then you just kind of throw them out on the court. It looks like a pickup game sometimes. It just looks like a bunch of guys trying to put up stats. That's what it looks like to me, and I think that that's awful, because I think that what made the Dream Team so great, not only were we, light years ahead of the rest of the world, but everybody bought into that team, and everybody bought into that philosophy, and everybody bought into what the team wanted to do, and so everybody worked together. And now it's a lot more like your turn, my turn, his turn, his turn. And it doesn't work. That's not how basketball is supposed to be.
I understand what you're saying about how they should be honored to do things like this. But, however, I don't feel like it's as big of a deal as the Olympics. I feel like the Olympics is more important. And the players weren't really playing, they're not terrible, but they weren't playing to the best of their ability. Miles Turner, missing 3-point shots. He was in foul trouble. Then you have Harrison Barnes.
He never should have been on the team, bro.
Center against Rudy Gobert. You can't do stuff like that and expect the World Cup. And I don't want to get too deep into the politics, but that's also why I think certain players do not want to play in the whole FIBA World Cup or the Olympics and things such as that. But I do believe that more elite stars will play for the Olympics. Like Steph Curry already said he wanted to.
Well, they have to now, because we just got embarrassed on the world stage.
Yeah, that's true. They kind of have to now. But I think it will be better when it gets to the Olympics.
It's the 2008 Redeem Team again. Are you kidding me? We don't got no Kobe to bail us out this time, though.
Yeah, but it was, like I said, the FIBA World Cup, it's not as important as the Olympics. We'll see what will happen when the Olympics come.
It's all real simple to me. I understand y'all saying other people, not the Europeans, but other players from other countries are keeping up with the NBA. They're catching up. And to me, I just feel like this is an effect of the NBA actually being balanced for once. I think if I'm Damian Lillard, or I'm maybe a different star on a different team, or I'm like LeBron James, why would I want to take away time I could spend with my teammates, build chemistry to win a championship, to win something that isn't even close to the significance of a trophy that I want to win. The goal as an NBA player is to win the rings and become the greatest. There's been no GOATs from winning FIBA World Cups or Olympic Games. There are GOATs from what you do in the regular season and the postseason. So I feel like, I understand. Maybe it's you might think it's their civil duty to participate in it, but why would I want to do that? I could be on a bigger platform. I could win with my team. I could stay healthy for longer, and I have a better chance of winning what I actually want to win, what I came to the league for. I don't want to come to the league to win world medals. I came here to win rings. So that's why I feel how that goes.
Okay. I'm not going to. For the last topic of the day, we're going to go over the football. Obviously, there have been a lot of injuries to some starting quarterbacks, which is always a narrative in NFL, but it seems like it's hitting pretty hard this year. So we're seeing a lot more backups get significant game time. What backup do you believe in the most right now, based on what they've done?
Well, I believe in Daniel Jones. The Giants were taken as a joke for picking him up when he was predicted to go late in the first round, but he actually went top 10, the 6th pick. And you don't draft a quarterback in the first round to have him sit on the bench, especially when you have an organization like the Giants that they got rid of their franchise player in OBJ. Number 2, they only won 8 games in the last 2 seasons. They went 5-11 the last season and 3-13 the season before that. And you have a declining Eli. Threw 21 touchdowns last year, but he had 11 interceptions. You're only supposed to have 2 to 3 interceptions, if any, in one season. And I just think he has the most responsibility because he's coming in on an organization that is rebuilding. Terrible offensive line, terrible defense. He has Saquon, but he's not healthy right now. He's suspect. And you have Sterling Shepard and Ingram, but other than that, it's like, what does he have to work with?
You got Golden Tate.
Yeah.
Once he gets back from suspension.
But what use is having you score all the points, right?
Yeah.
But then your defense lets the team come back. What's the point?
I'm a Falcons fan. I've been dealing with that for years.
28-3, huh?
Nah, you guys struggling. That's for sure.
Yeah, but if you look at his last 2 games and his performance, especially against the Buccaneers, he did something that no other starting quarterback has done. He had 2 rushing touchdowns and 2 passing touchdowns. If Eli was in that spot, we would have turned the channel. Ain't no way we would have expected Eli to come back from an 18-point deficit. And all of the excuses that people have made for Eli about the bad O-line and the terrible defense, he overcame that and brought his team back. Now, am I saying that he's this miracle that the Giants fans need? No, because we've only seen 2 games. But as far as like the future, I really do think he's hope for the Giants.
Question is about the backup you believe in. The backup quarterback position to me is who can maintain what the starter that may be started. And to me, I'm not being biased here. It may look like it a little bit. But Teddy Bridgewater, to me, he's already a proven starter. The person she named is a rookie. He's already had that experience in the league. He knows what it's like to be a starting quarterback. So I feel like he fits perfectly. And I don't think he's the best quarterback out of everybody they're about to name because I feel like he's lowering a little bit. But I believe in him because what's around him. He has Alvin Kamara around him. He has Michael Thomas around him, and he has a great offensive line. He has a great offensive line and a great scheme caller and Sean Payton around him as well. And then that Saints defense, Teddy Bridgewater doesn't even have to score for them to win, obviously. And they're stopping people like the Cowboys with Dak Prescott and Zeke Elliott. I mean, he puts up no points. He puts the team in the hole, and the defense still wins the game. So who do I believe in to be more successful the most is Teddy Bridgewater, just because of what he has around him.
See, the way you're talking is you believe in him because his team is great.
Yeah.
Right? That's what you're saying.
What's he around him? Because that's why I feel like he has the most chance for success.
Would he be able to do it?
He's already done it.
Without the
But
he's already done it.
He's a game manager.
But he's already done it.
Yeah,
that's all he needs. That's all he needs to be for. That's
all
all
he
he
needs to do is
needs. We're talking
manage
about backup
Drew Brees.
quarterbacks. He doesn't have to be a starter. He doesn't have to be great like a starter. He doesn't have to be great like a starter.
Who do I believe in the most to come in and maintain?
Maintain.
You really think that Teddy Bridgewater can do what Drew Brees
He's
does?
not
Maintain. He is. Have the Saints lost yet?
They played the Cowboys. The Cowboys had played 3 cupcake games. It looked like an NCAA.
It's still the Cowboys. The Cowboys looking amazing.
Like the Alabama. That's what Alabama starts off against. Alabama could beat the Redskins.
Okay.
Look, you know who I believe in the most?
He went to Seattle and won as well, right?
You know who I believe in the most?
Go ahead.
Gardner Minshew.
Okay. The mustache
Minshew
kid,
mania is running wild, and it's not going to stop, all right? This man has taken the Jacksonville Jaguars who used to have Blake Bortles as their quarterback.
Horrendous.
And he has given them win after win. He's not being flashy. He doesn't put up the Patrick Mahomes highlights where he throws, 60-yard bombs, but he's going in there and he's getting the job done. And and you were talking about how Teddy Bridgewater's got elite skill position talent. He doesn't. His number one receiver is DJ Chark.
I don't even know that.
Exactly. He's a second-round wide receiver out of LSU, all right? His running back is Leonard Fournette, who, while talented, has struggled to act, and his offensive line is average at best. So the fact that he's gone out there and he has led this team, he's already led them on a game-winning drive. I have faith in that. I have faith in that. That shows me, because I see what you're saying with Danny Dimes. He came in, he did great against Tampa, but here's my problem with Danny Dimes. He has the 5 touchdowns, but he also has 5 interceptions.
Yeah.
And a 1-to-1 turnover ratio is not good, because for every time you're scoring, you're giving the ball back to him. And that's not ideal, I think, for any kind of quarterback. I think in the future,
He's still learning.
He's got the most potential out of all of them. But Gardner Minshew right now is killing it. And honestly, I think there's a quarterback controversy in Jacksonville. I think Nick Foles should go back to being what he does. I think he should go back to being a backup. I think the Jaguars overpaid. I think they found their franchise quarterback in the 6th round. Call me crazy. Call it a hunch.
I don't hate that.
I think
But
that's
guys,
true.
that's the end for this show today. Tell us how we did. What could we work on? What would you guys be more interested in us talking about? Just give us feedback. Like and subscribe to the video. You guys got anything to say?
I'm good.
Yeah, if you want to comment topics, that'd be nice.
Oh, and comment who won too. We want to know who won. Who gave the best debate? Who won? But all right, next time.